We're doing another food prep for a spring video because we want to use up all the vegetables that are currently in season. We are in that hungry gap stage between March and April where there are few things, the last of the winter stuff and the beginning of the spring food. And I just want to be preparing a lot of things. I do tend to do different kinds of videos if you're new here. I love to do things like meal prep for the month where we make lots of meals that we can freeze and have throughout the entire month. And I also like to do things like food prep where we will ferment foods and we make individual things and bread and bagels and all those fun things to have throughout the week and hopefully into the next month as well. So some of the things we're going to be using today, we're going to be using cabbage in 2 different dishes. I'm going to make some more sauerkraut. It's going to be heavy on the garlic, heavy on the dill, maybe even putting some mustard seeds in there. I want it to be just delicious. I finally got my sauerkraut down, so I'm excited to try that out. We're also making a stuffed baked cabbage dish, which is a Ukrainian dish to celebrate Ukrainian food, and this uses Savoy cabbages, and there's a vegetarian version that uses buckwheat, so I'm very excited to try that. We're also going to be making some pampushka, some veggie manti, and maybe if we have time I'm going to be making a veggie borscht. I think that's how you say it. But the whole point is to make different foods that we can have in lots of different ways. Sauerkraut is the first thing that we're going to be starting with. If you're new to my channel, you may not have seen this before, but if you do like this, then please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe so that you never miss another seasonal food video or seasonal sustainable living video. Okay, let's get started with the sauerkraut. So I'm just using 2 large heads of a white cabbage, and then I'm going to be using 2% of salt, and that's basically it. I then throw in about 8 to 10 cloves of garlic, however much dill I think is necessary, and the same with mustard seeds. And I just spend quite a while massaging the liquid out of the cabbage until it's really squishy. Why does it say squeaky? Before we get started on the next thing, I just want to say a massive thank you to Lomi for sponsoring today's video. As you can see here, I'm putting my food waste into Lomi, which is a revolutionary appliance that turns waste into dirt. All you have to do is fill it with your food scraps, coffee grounds, and even your old peeler case into Lomi, and then you simply press a button to transform it. What's amazing is that you can use this nutrient-dense dirt to put in indoor plants, in your garden, or even in your green bin. One thing I love about the Lomi is that it's really easy to use, you get real dirt in hours, and it is low energy. Food waste has always been something I've been trying to cut down on and ensure that I'm really wasting as little as possible. But now the food scraps that my family or I can't put into other recipes or use to make a vegetable stock, or even that food after we have made a vegetable stock, can go into the Lomi, turn into dirt, and be reused in our garden to grow more food. If you'd like to find out more about Lomi, please check out the description. I finally decided to take on sourdough, so we're going to make our starter today. All we need to add is 50 grams of strong white flour and 50 grams of water. Then we leave it in here loosely, and then day 2 we do nothing. Day 3 I think we add it. So yeah, we're just going to start it off now in this little jar. Now for the pampushka, you need to put all the stuff together and put it in the fridge for 24 hours. So we're just adding the yeast, water and 200 grams of flour, and then we're going to be putting it in the fridge and addressing that tomorrow. And then we're going to be moving on to some veggie pork manti, where I'm going to be using Beyond Meat. Now these are an Eastern European take on dumplings, and I'd never made them before or even heard of them, which I'm embarrassed about. So I love dumplings, so I'm really excited to give these a try. As always, the recipes will be in the description below, so please go and check out the original recipe by the original creator, because this is very much a celebration of these recipe creators. So yeah, go and check them out. To make these vegan, instead of using an egg, I used a flax egg, which was quite the experiment. And instead of butter, I used vegan butter and I used Beyond Meat. I don't usually like to use fake meats a lot, but I wanted to give this a try, and I was really surprised at how good it was, to be honest. I steamed some of them for 20 minutes just so that I could try them, and then the rest of them I individually froze on a plate, so that once they were frozen I could put them in a bag, because if you freeze them all together then they just stick. And then I'd have them for the rest of the week, or for the next couple of weeks, whenever I decided I wanted to have some. Wow. I could eat 100 of these. You can probably notice a pattern forming when it comes to the sourdough starter. Every day you feed it with water and with more flour, and then I also had to move it to a bigger jar because obviously I realised that this jar was too small. And then after I got to about day 6, that's when we moved into discarding it. And today this is when I had to discard a lot of the starter to keep it young and active. This is according to instructions. I have no idea what I'm doing. So I tried to use a discard that a lot of people say you can use to make a flatbread. I would give this about a 2 or 3 out of 10. I did something wrong, it tasted terrible, but I ate it anyway. So don't come to me for your sourdough tips because I clearly have no idea what I'm doing. But this is all part of the fun and the experimentation, and I'm just really enjoying learning about how this stuff works. It's incredibly fun and exciting, and hopefully one day I'll actually be good at it. Okay, so today is day 8 for my sourdough starter. I have to wait another 5 days. When we get to around day 14, that's when I think it's young and active enough to start making sourdough. So unfortunately that's going to be in the next video, but I just wanted to show this process. Did you stop? I just wanted to show this process because it's actually surprisingly long, and I'm very excited about it though. I think it's gonna be, I don't know, it's great to see the process from start to finish so that you can really understand what you're doing. Also, if you're wondering why I am so dressed up, I've had a lot of social anxiety around this wedding that I'm going to in a couple of weeks, and I've just been before work every day just practicing my makeup to see and try and make it look natural but also nice, and yeah, so that's why I'm a bit overdressed, shall we say, today to do some baking. Okay, next we're going to make that cabbage dish that I was saying. It's like a creamy tomato sauce with baked cabbage and buckwheat and stuff inside. So I'm really excited to try that, so we're going to get into that now. What I already love about this recipe is that it's just some really nice, basic, simple ingredients. You've got cabbage, onion, you've got flour, tomatoes and buckwheat. And buckwheat is actually surprisingly inexpensive. I was able to get quite a lot of it for just over £1, I think. And I was quite surprised because in my mind buckwheat is this, I don't know what people seem to be using in their fancy that girl breakfasts and whatever, but clearly I was very wrong, and that's why we should never assume things. We should always find out the truth. So yeah, this is what I love about this recipe. There are quite a few steps in terms of baking the buckwheat and then adding the potato and the onion and then baking it again and then making the tomato sauce and then wrapping everything up and baking it. But I personally think that it's worth it. It was a really delicious, hearty and inexpensive meal. We're going through quite the crisis in the UK at the moment in terms of food prices, so I can understand that now more than ever it's important to be able to make things for much cheaper and to find meals that are delicious and healthful and nutritious that are still affordable to everyone. So I'm definitely going to be focusing a lot on that kind of recipes or those kind of recipes and videos in the future, and we're definitely going to be talking about zero waste shops in the UK in particular, missing out on a lot of business because of the change in culture post what's just happened. So yeah, we're going to be talking a lot about that in the future videos as well. Let me know if you would be interested in that kind of conversation. Okay, look, you may have noticed that we didn't make a few things in this video, and that's because I had quite the accident with some of these things. But this is definitely a two-parter, so we'll be making more things in the next video, more things that I would usually make for spring plus a few extra stuff. I would love to make some wild garlic and nettle bagels. That just sounds too good to me, just too good. And then we'll be able to see finally in the next video starting off actually making some sourdough bread. This is something I've really wanted to learn for a very long time, and I did try it previously when I lived in London, but the oven was just terrible. So I think that and my obviously terrible skills may have added to that as well. So we're definitely going to be trying that going forward. Hopefully once I've got the simple sourdough down, then we can start making some interesting seasonal varieties. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new here, please subscribe so that you never miss another video. I am so happy to be back creating content for you guys. I have really missed being consistent on YouTube, so I just really hope that you enjoy the videos going forward. As always, I really appreciate you, and I really appreciate you being here watching this stuff, because it's a huge privilege to have such a wonderful community, and I just want you to know that I appreciate you. Okay, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye. As you can see, my room is a complete disgrace, so the next video, well, we're going to be doing a spring clean, and I'm going to be cleaning this entire house. I'm embarrassed. I'm actually embarrassed.